what you feel. I can believe that. But do you really know? Did you really know?
No, you know.
Thank you.
Anorexia,
No way.
they've written it.
No way.
Bulimia,
No way.
that it's because of drugs.
No. Now, I grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress.
If you love untold Hollywood stories, subscribe now, because today we are diving deep into one of the most heartbreaking final chapters in music history. This is the tragic truth behind Whitney Houston's final hours. Whitney Houston was not just another singer. She was the voice of a generation, a once-in-a-lifetime talent whose powerful vocals shook the music world in the 1980s and 1990s. Born in Newark, New Jersey in 1963, Whitney grew up surrounded by music. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a famous gospel singer, and her cousin, Dionne Warwick, was a pop superstar. Even Aretha Franklin was considered a close family friend. From a young age, Whitney's voice carried a spiritual quality, effortless, soaring, and emotional. By her teenage years, it was clear. Whitney Houston was destined for greatness. Her debut album in 1985 produced hit after hit, including Greatest Love of All and How Will I Know. Soon, she became a global sensation, selling over 200 million records worldwide in her career. She was beautiful, elegant, and gifted. But behind the glamour of stardom, Whitney's personal struggles began to slowly build, struggles that would one day contribute to her tragic end. Fame is intoxicating, but it can also be destructive. Whitney's career skyrocketed, but so did the pressures of the industry. She was labeled America's sweetheart, yet she was constantly battling with expectations from the media, the record labels, and even her own family. Her marriage to singer Bobby Brown in 1992 became one of the most talked about relationships in Hollywood. Their love story was intense, passionate, but also deeply troubled. Together, they faced public scandals, legal battles, and addiction. By the early 2000s, Whitney's once crystal-clear voice began to show strain. Rumors of drug use spread across tabloids. Television interviews captured her looking frail and defensive. The world was witnessing a superstar in decline. But Whitney was a fighter. She attempted comebacks, sought treatment, and publicly declared her determination to rise again. And yet, fate had other plans. In February 2012, Whitney Houston checked into the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. She was in town for the Grammy Awards and for a pre-Grammy party hosted by music mogul Clive Davis, the man who discovered her decades early. Friends recalled that Whitney seemed both hopeful and fragile during those days. She was spotted rehearsing, attending parties, and even singing impromptu performances at events. Some said her voice, though weakened, still carried that old magic. But others noticed troubling signs: exhaustion, slurred speech, and erratic behavior. On February 9, just 2 days before her death, Whitney appeared on stage at a pre-Grammy party. Dressed in gold, she sang alongside singer Kelly Price. The crowd cheered, but those close to her noticed the struggle in her voice. Whitney was trying to prove that she was still the diva the world once adored. The morning of February 11th began like any other. Whitney was staying in Suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. She had plans to attend Clive Davis's famous pre-Grammy party that evening, the very same party where her career had been celebrated for decades. According to hotel staff and friends, Whitney seemed restless. She spent the day moving between her room and the hotel pool area. Witnesses said she looked tired but determined. She was seen chatting with friends and even making last-minute preparations for the party. At around 3:30 p.m., Whitney returned to her suite. She drew a bath in her hotel room. Staff members later reported hearing music playing inside. Moments later, tragedy struck. Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in her hotel bathtub. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but it was too late. At just 48 years old, one of the greatest voices in history had been silenced. News of Whitney's death spread like wildfire across the globe. Fans gathered outside the Beverly Hilton, lighting candles and singing her songs. Celebrities expressed their grief on social media, stunned by the sudden loss. Inside the very same hotel, Clive Davis's party went on as planned, though now overshadowed by tragedy. The Los Angeles County coroner later confirmed the cause of death: accidental drowning, with the effects of heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. It was a heartbreaking confirmation of the struggles Whitney had faced for decades.
And you're looking at that picture of Whitney Houston, and it does say 1963 to 2012 because CNN has confirmed that Whitney Houston has died at the age of 40.
Also found unconscious in a bathtub, an eerie and heartbreaking parallel to her mother's death. Though Whitney Houston's life ended tragically, her legacy remains immortal. Her voice, often described as heavenly, continues to inspire new generations of artists. Songs like "I Will Always Love You," "I Wanna Dance with Somebody," and "Greatest Love of All" remain timeless classics. Her story is both a cautionary tale and a celebration of talent. Whitney's struggles with fame, addiction, and personal demons remind us that even the brightest stars can face darkness. But her music, her gift to the world, will never fade. Whitney Houston's final hours remind us of the fragile line between brilliance and pain, between triumph and tragedy. Her voice was a gift from above, but her story is a reminder of the human struggles behind the spotlight. She will forever be remembered, not just for her tragic end, but for the incredible legacy she left behind. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories. And next, watch our deep dive into the dark truth about John Candy's tragic final days. Another story of fame, struggle, and heartbreak that will leave you stunned.